Hi, Sherry Kay. Welcome to Ability Works.
Thank you so much.
What brings you here today?
I'm needing some help in getting a job. I seem to be kind of rusty at it, and something's just not working. I don't seem to be able to understand the new ways that getting a job, especially with the new computer applications, that's just something I'm not used to doing these days.
Okay. How would you like for us to help you?
Well, I was told that perhaps that y'all had people that could come and help teach me how to basically fill out applications and do things that I may be a little rusty at now.
That is so true. Ability Work has an array of services they can provide you to help you meet your goals. You know, and with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and fill out this client intake form, and we'll get started for me to get to know you much more better to help you meet your goals. You know, I'm gonna get some personal information on you, as well as psychosocial, vocational, as well as educational, you know, information on you. Okay, your name is Sherry Kay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have any vision or hearing problems?
I have to wear glasses for reading. If I drive or something like that, I don't have to have it. Or if I'm, you know, doing something where not close reading is needed, but I have to have them if I want to read.
Are they prescription glasses?
Yes, ma'am.
You have any problem with hearing?
No, maybe a little selective here, but no, it's fine.
Okay. Okay, I see your race. Is it Caucasian?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your age, marital status. Are you married?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have any children?
I have 3 sons.
They all live with you?
Right now, yes. They're different ages. My oldest one, he's in the process of a divorce, so he's back with us. And then I have my middle son. He's 20, and then I have my youngest is 15.
Okay. What's your highest educational? Your highest grade you completed?
I went to Jones Junior College for 2 years.
Okay, 2 years at Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Did you graduate with a degree?
Yes, ma'am. I have
Was it a
AA degree?
Oh, associate. Is that a social arts degree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your work history.
Well, I've done different types of jobs, anything from cashiers. I've done waitressing. When I was at Jones, that whole time I was at Jones, I waitressed also at a restaurant. And then when I got married, my husband is in the military, so we've been in so many different places. The ability to basically stay in one spot and stay at a job was real hard, because he would, about every 4 years, 3 to 4 years, we were being sent elsewhere. So it's just whatever job was available. I've worked in a factory before, assembling parts. I worked as an aide for a nursing home, like the recreation aide.
Okay.
So it's just a little jack of all trades, so to speak. But it's like I said, the main problem was I did not have the time at any one place for any length of time to really stay and do anything, you know, because we were always being transferred.
Oh, okay. What was your last job that you worked?
That would have been the recreational aide.
Okay. Do you know how long you stayed on this job?
Usually about 3 years.
3 years?
About 3 years of pop. Now, I haven't worked in a while because of my youngest son. He was found to have a severe form of epilepsy, so I haven't been able to, or up until recently, now that we've got things a little calm, and to where I feel more comfortable leaving.
Okay.
To go to work, do that stuff.
Okay. Of all the jobs out there, now you named various jobs. What job suits your interest? What is your vocational goal? What can we help you with?
I really liked very structured situations, like when I worked at the assembly work, or in a where I knew where my job was very set and it was very structured. It wasn't like I had to come up with ideas on my own. That is something that I did well in, a structured environment. Now, what would that be? Like an assembly work, or maybe maybe even like cafeteria work, something like that. Something that's very structured.
Okay. Cafeteria worker.
Because I've always had a little bit of attention deficit, and it's just gotten worse as I gotten older. So if I know my job, then I usually can.
Okay.
Well,
in order to be in ability works, you have to have some type of disability. So what do you think your disability may be?
Well, I've like I said, I've always struggled with attention deficit, but I also have what's called narcolepsy, diagnosed narcolepsy.
Okay.
That's where I'll fall asleep very easily at odd times, usually during the day.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm on medicines to help keep me awake during the daylight times.
Okay.
Because if I was allowed, I could probably sleep 24, 48 hours at a time.
Oh, okay. What medication are you on?
Nuvigil. That's 250 milligrams.
Okay. Is that once a day? Okay. Is that at night?
In the mornings.
In the mornings.
And then also Adderall.
Okay.
In the afternoons, if I begin to get fatigued, because it can happen, I'll fall asleep. And the Adderall is a very low dose, and it just gives me about a 3 to 4 hour window. If I'm in a place where I not need to drive or something like that, it'll get me home. Because I've driven off the road. I've fallen asleep at stop signs. I've rear-ended people by falling asleep. It's not pleasant.
Have you done that lately? How recent that have occurred?
When I'm on the medicine, it doesn't. Even though the medicine is kind of, it's beginning to shorter span of time that it's given me. For the most part, the way that my doctor has the medication done, I have what's called a rescue. If I find myself wanting to get drowsy, like behind the wheel or in a situation where I can't, I have the Adderall that's in a wafer that you put it in your mouth and it disintegrates and it goes into the system faster.
Oh, awesome.
And it does have a side effect. I get antsy. Sometimes I'll constantly be moving and I bite my fingernails really bad. And it's just kind of, that's the side effect that I have to deal with sometimes. And it's embarrassing because my fingernails are so bad.
You bite your fingernails. And that's the side effect of the Adderall. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm looking at your overall appearance. You are very neat.
Yeah, I like clothes.
Yes,
I like shoes. I have a thing for shoes.
And you are well groomed.
Thank you.
You dress appropriate. You're not shy. You're very socially confident.
Yeah, I've never been one to be told that I was quiet type. I never have been that way.
Yes, ma'am. And you're not quiet and reserved. You talk freely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think we have established a good rapport.
Yeah, I'm real excited to be able to possibly have an opportunity to get out and do some, you know, independent stuff for me, you know, because my kids are getting older, and, you know, it just, I need something for me, and I'm real excited. I was real excited to be able to come and talk to somebody.
Okay. Well, your mannerism is very appropriate, and you have a good interest, you know, and let me ask you a little bit about your history. Have you ever, you know, had a problem with alcohol or drugs?
No, I never, up until recently, medications, I wasn't on, I didn't take anything other than maybe a Tylenol or for a headache. This thing that I'm dealing with now is the first time I've ever really been on any type of medication. So I never was one, in fact, I never did drink. I didn't like drinking because it would put me to sleep. It just brought it upon on already ongoing problems. I never drink.
Yes, ma'am. Well, have you ever had a problem with depression?
Yes, I've had, you know, bouts of it periodically throughout my life, but here recently, because of some issues with my oldest son, you know, you know, with the situation with his family and the divorce, it has just really, and it's just devastated me. And I think that's one of the things that got me kind of saying, I need to get out. I need to do something and focus on me instead of him, because it's just it's a sad situation. And it was very depressing. And the doctor that I go to for the narcolepsy, the neurologist, he also has suggested to possibly look at going on some antidepressants, but I hadn't decided yet if I want to do that.
Oh, okay. Now you said, did you mention that you was in an accident? You know, because you fell asleep.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been on I've had two particular instances where it wasn't me driving. It was actually somebody else driving. And then I hit my head on and it was before the seatbelt, you know, laws. And
okay.
I hit. A friend of mine was driving, and I hit twice, 2 different times, my head on the windshield, and I've had one concussion for sure, and it was about probably 20 years ago.
Okay.
You know, I don't remember a whole lot about the accident. I just remember hitting my head and it was really hurting.
Did it cause any memory problems?
Initially, I think it did, but because I would forget, like I didn't have a whole lot of remembrance of the incident itself. I just remember next thing I knew, I was in the hospital and I was getting checked out, and I'm like going, I don't remember how I got here. But then as time progressed, you know, those memories come back. But as far as recently, I don't really notice anything other than, you know, we forget where our keys are or whatever. But, you know, if I forget something, if somebody reminds me of it, I go, oh, no, okay, got it. And I've gotten to where here recently I do write things down just to make sure.
Well, that's pretty normal if you forget your keys. Even I forget my keys.
Oh, yeah.
But what about your short-term memory? Like somebody tell you something very important to do, and then you forget to do it.
Well, that's the reason why I started carrying the little book. I have a little notepad that I take in my purse, because it seemed like I, you know, did begin to forget, like paying certain bills.
Okay.
And my husband is the one that kind of picked up on that, and he kind of stepped in and took over for that. And I don't know if it's really me forgetting it or if me avoiding it.
No. Okay.
I think it may have had a little bit into that depression thing, because it was during that period of time where I was very upset about what was going on with my son, and I remembered the bill. I just wasn't motivated to do anything about it. So
Okay.
I think that was more of what it was.
Well, going back to that depression, how long did did you have depression? How long was it?
Well, it seemed to have lasted quite a while. I'd say at least 6-7 months, to a point that I finally went to a close friend of mine who, because I even though I'm a very open person, I'm very private when it comes to certain things, and I think that was what really was hurting me, is that I had all this stuff going on and I wasn't really letting it out, talking it out, or whatever. I was just trying to bring it in and swallow it and whatever. And then I just sat down and started talking to this friend of mine, and that I hadn't seen in a while, and it was a very dear friend of mine, and it just seemed to help. Just talking with somebody.
Oh, okay.
And this wasn't, a counselor or anything. It was just a friend of mine. And that's when I started going, I need to just start
letting it out.
And ever since then, I felt okay. And like I said, I talked with my doctor when I went last, because I go in to see him about every 6 months.
Oh, okay.
And we talked about it, and he said, if I considered it, that he, would. He mentioned a couple of different medicines. I said I would think about it and get back with him if I decide I really needed it. But like I said, I seem to, when I really talk it out, I seem better afterwards. I don't have as negative attitude, I guess, after that.
Okay. So that helped also with your memory.
Yeah.
As well as the notepad.
Right.
All that helped. Okay then. And so, what kind of job would you like, full-time or part-time?
Well, I think whatever, really, it depends on what it is, really and truly, because if it's something that maybe is a sit down or doesn't have as much physical activity, I think full-time would be cool. But if it's something that has like some exertion or something, then part-time might be best, because it's, I'm not any younger than a.
Okay. Okay, with that being said, are you on any benefits at this time?
No, I have insurance through my husband. So I have medical insurance, but as far as benefits, no, I don't have anything.
And so what I meant by benefits, are you drawing any SSI or SSDI or anything like that? Okay, no SSI and no SSDI. Okay. Well, now Ability Works, we kind of, in the first phase is the evaluation phase. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the program, because it is a vocational training program. It is not a place where you're going to get rich working, or it's not really a real job. And so let me explain. Only a few facilities in Mississippi, in the state of Mississippi, does this job. Other states does not have this type of shelter. Well, let me say VRP. And so with that being said, you come into the VRP and you get evaluated during the evaluation phase. And that occurred. Now, how long it takes for us to evaluate you and see if you're job ready, it depends on you. Because also you get to know yourself and what you need to do to improve yourself.
Oh, okay. So it helps me maybe look and see some flaws or something that I might have, or
because we'll keep you updated on what the employers look at when it comes to employability. In order to also to not only attain a job, to retain a job. And so we'll be looking at all those skills that you need to inquire in order to do that. And it's called. And so with that being said, we'll put you in the workshop and let you start off with that, for we can evaluate. And all it is just evaluation period. We just evaluate you on some objectives that the counselor referred on. She'll give us certain objectives for us to kind of monitor you on. And most of those objectives are pretty simple. You know, they measurable objectives. And these measurable objectives symbol like, your attendance pattern. Do you attend as scheduled? Do you attend on time? And then it also have, is you a fast worker? Do you stay focused as you work? Do you get along with others as you work in the workshop? It's just simpler, down to earth. Do you have any social skill issues? So that's what most of the counselors want us to kind of, view you on. Any questions with that?
No, not yet. No.
It's just to see if you were employable. See if you're ready to go back into the work world.
Oh, okay.
So that's all that is. And so we'll be starting that. You can just start. You can come back. I have you into the system today, and you can start work Monday. Is that okay with you?
Oh, that'd be a great day. Yeah. That'd be good.
So this is the time. Report at 7 o'clock. Do you need our transportation?
No, I have a vehicle.
You have your own?
I don't live far from here, actually.
Okay, great. So report to work at 7.
What do I wear? What?
Just wear normal or informal clothes.
Okay.
Blue jeans and t-shirt will be just fine. Comfortable. With tennis shoes will be just fine. And so report at 7, and we'll work till 1:30. But in between, you'll have a 15-minute break, and you'll have a 30-minute lunch break.
So I need to bring a lunch?
Yes, you need to bring a lunch. We do have a refrigerator to keep that in, as well as we have vending machines if you want to purchase any snacks or drinks, if you don't bring a snack, We also have a water fountain. You can, obtain water. We have cups and everything. So if that's, that would be a good convenience. Now, also, you have to clock out, if you leave the premises on lunch break. If you don't leave the premises, you do not have to clock out during the 30-minute lunch break. And let's see what else I'm forgetting. I'm going to put your time card close to the clock. It's one section that people that works in the workshop. In the middle is the people that work in the wood shop. And then on the end is the people that work in the wood shop doing wood fabrication. So yours going to be in the first slot. I'm going to give you a tour around the workshop where you can be familiar with the restroom is, the break room, look at all inside there. Also, I'm going to introduce you to all the type of contract work that you'll be working on. You're going to kind of swap, at a certain period of time on each of the contract work to get familiar on how each of the employers in the community want you to do their contract work.
Oh, okay. So that's real work.
That is real work that we're going to evaluate
from places out
just in the community, and we're going to evaluate you on that real work. To see if you're meeting employees' specifications.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Meeting their criteria. Because each employer have different criteria that they want their employees to meet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions?
Not yet, but I'm sure I'll get about halfway down the road and I'll think about 10. So.
Well, if you have any questions, you just come back or call, or you can just ask me when you come back Monday, or you can just call when you get home.
Okay.
And I'd be glad to answer your questions.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you so much for coming, and welcome to Ability Works.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.